welcome back to my YouTube channel today. I have had so many requests from people out there on the internet to get back into the kitchen. So let's get started where I will show you a dynamite focaccia recipe, which is suitable for the holidays or all year round. Let's get started. Quick little story time. So I'm in the grocery store and I'm looking for your household all-purpose flour when I come across this 10-kilogram white bag. I take a closer look. The package itself is from Waldron, Saskatchewan, so my territory essentially. They have a fantastic mission: one farm, one purchase, and one life. Meaning they're a one farm operation. $1 of every bag purchased goes towards creating organic farmland. And lastly, proceeds from each purchase go towards creating sustainable, clean drinking water in third world countries. How awesome is that? So I'm gonna take my 1 1/3 cup of warm water in a bowl, add my 2 teaspoons of sugar. Taking a whisk, I want to dissolve those two. So once dissolved, add your 2 1/4 teaspoons of activated dry yeast. Sprinkle that in. Give it 1 or 2 quick stirs. Pop this into a warm area for 5 to 10 minutes until you see a creamy foam starting. That means that your yeast has been activated. It's been 10 minutes and this is what your activated yeast mixture should look like. If it's not foamy or bubbly, you need to restart. There could be a chance that your yeast could be dead. I've attached my dough hook. I'm going to slowly add my 3 1/2 cups of flour. Just incorporate that a little bit. You can slowly add a little bit at a time of your oil as well as your salt. And on the lowest setting of your stand mixer, just incorporate that mixture. All right, I'm stopping. I'm adding a little bit more flour to incorporate and bind. A little bit more oil, a little bit more salt. And oops. This dough recipe is 100% vegan. So shout out to you, Shayna Harris. If you're watching this, this is a vegan focaccia recipe. All right, once it's all combined, I want to knead this on the dough hook attachment in my mix master for 5 minutes. A good sign of a properly kneaded focaccia dough is when the dough manages to clean the sides of the bowl. That's when you know it's just right. 5 minutes, the perfect sticky consistency, but still malleable in my hands. I'm gonna shape this into a bowl and put this in my well-oiled bowl. Maybe toss that once, toss it twice. If it's naughty, toss it 3 times. Taking a damp cloth or saran wrap, whichever your preference, I'm gonna cover this baby up. Put this in a warm space for 45 to 60 minutes until doubled in size. I have decided that I want to do a rosemary cranberry brie focaccia. In order to prep that, I'm gonna take 1 cup of cranberries, fresh, 1/2 cup of water in a saucepan, and 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm just lightly chopping these cranberries. I'm gonna leave some half, some fully whole, and I'm gonna put this into the saucepan. I've very coarsely chopped my cranberries. I'm putting them in my saucepan with my water, 1/4 cup of sugar. And with this, I'm gonna set this to medium heat until I see a visual simmer. Once it's simmered, immediately pull it off of the heat source, drain it, and it'll be just perfect as a focaccia topping. How festive! I now have close to 8 ounces or so of triple cream brie that I am going to lightly shave off just the rind. And what I've decided is I'm just going to lightly pull apart my triple cream brie This is what your dough should look like after 60 minutes of being in a warm space. I'm gonna turn this out onto a floured surface. I'm gonna put this onto parchment paper. Should just be a little bit easier for me. What I'm gonna do is roll out this dough into a 1/2 inch thickness. I want to flatten it too hard that we lose some of those air bubbles that we tried to create over the course of the hour. I'm gonna measure mine out to 14 by 14. I'm going to take my damp tea towel used earlier. I'm going to cover this dough one more time for about 20 minutes, just to let that gluten sit. So the reason why I measured out my dough is because I'm gonna use my secret weapon, which is my bake stone. This bake stone is by Paderno. You can get them anywhere. Mine in particular, I think it was $75 on sale for $35 at Canadian Tire, so it was an absolute steal. This bake stone will get super hot in your oven. It's gonna concentrate the heat from the bottom up and really yield a very evenly baked loaf, scones, biscuits, breads, anything. So I'm putting this bake stone in the oven. I'm going to heat my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So while that's waiting for 20 minutes, my oven's being preheated. Let's go. After 20 minutes, you can see that our focaccia has risen a little bit more. I'm taking my fingers, poking deep dents into the focaccia. As many dents as I can, the more the better. These dents are going to be optimal for soaking up as much olive oil as we can. I'm going to take 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil and just lightly drizzle. I've got 3 sprigs of fresh rosemary. Wait till this hits the oven. It's going to smell absolutely to die for. You won't smell anything else like it. And people are gonna be asking, oh my gosh, what is in your oven? I've got the torn pieces of triple cream brie. You'll see this beautiful golden hue of speckles all around your focaccia. Last but not least, to pair with the creaminess of that brie, are your tart cranberries. For every bite, you have a little bit of sweetness paired with the cream. It's like Christmas in a flatbread. That's all it takes to make your focaccia. I'm gonna pop this in onto my bake stone, 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. And to be honest, I think it's a perfect 20. Beautiful cranberry brie focaccia and rosemary is fresh out of the oven. I'm gonna take a little bit more olive oil and just drizzle it on top. As I said earlier, you can never have too much olive oil on focaccia. And a little sprinkle of salt. I'm using Malden, and this is it. Here, this is a wonderful festive focaccia recipe, perfect for the holidays. I want to thank you for tuning in. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.